everybody for joining us today. We're really excited to kick off the Trailblaze Challenge. This will be our third year. Really excited to see a lot of familiar faces, excited to see some new faces too, and all of that. So thank you so much for expressing interest, and hope this can answer a bunch of questions. And I'd love to have some of our alumni share some of their stories as well as we kind of get into it. So I will go ahead and just share a little bit about Make-A-Wish first. And I think it's always great to kind of kick off with a video. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Please shout out if the sound is not working, because I want to make sure that you can hear that part.
Your wish was granted?
Happy Wish Day, buddy!
Do you like Mickey Mouse? Yeah?
It makes you forget about the bad times. Make-A-Wish Foundation helped give her the hope that we couldn't.
Make-A-Wish has been a really cool part of our journey.
Thank you for everything you do for all these kids.
Should definitely help other kids have their wish come true. It really makes an impact.
Best day of my life.
I'll always have those moments to remind myself of all the amazing things that life has to offer.
What Make-A-Wish does to me, I think it's out of this world.
Thank you, Make-A-Wish!
So every 20 minutes, a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. And a critical illness is something that is placing their life in jeopardy. So our mission at Make-A-Wish is together we create life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. I think it's a common misconception is that every child is terminally ill, that is their last wish, and that's just not the case. So I think that's a really important distinction to look at. So Make-A-Wish is Make-A-Wish Greater Virginia is here local in Virginia. So we cover kind of all around Virginia, except for just a couple of counties near DC. So here's just some stats about our chapter specifically. So we have granted over 5,700 wishes here in Virginia. This year we plan to grant 168. We do have over 300 children waiting for their wish right now. We rely really heavily on our volunteers to help us grant those wishes. The biggest need is our wish granter volunteers. They work directly with the families to help them through the whole wish journey. Our average cost of a wish is $10,000. And all of the wishes that we grant are for children that are local. And every wish is made possible because of you. I think this is really really important to kind of take a look at. I think it's something that folks probably don't realize. We've done some research and reached out to some uh, wish children and parents and some of their medical providers to get more information about kind of their experience after the fact. And so here are some things that really just highlight some of the long-term impact, their emotional well-being throughout the wish journey, their strength to fight. So you could see a lot of these stats are really high. I think, especially after we're kind of coming out of the last few years and all the experiences that our medical professionals have been going through. I think seeing that 100% of medical providers report that a wish experience improves a child and their own emotional well-being, I think is really impactful to look at. So I'm happy to share this with anybody who wants to study this a little bit closer, but just love to kind of call out how much of a positive impact it has on folks. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Trailblaze Challenge specifically. It's a one-day endurance event where folks will have an opportunity to hike 18 miles in the Shenandoah National Park. It's a section of the Skyline Drive. We'll start the day at Skyline Resort, so we will be having rooms there and things like that, and that's where all of our meals will be happening. Friday, April 12th through Sunday, April 14th is the hike weekend. And really, the hike is for everybody. It is for people of all endurance levels. We do have a training period for the 12 weeks kind of before the hike happens. There'll be training hikes available. There'll be some educational sessions, things like that, that are available to help folks feel prepared for it. And the reason that we do this is really to raise funds to grant wishes for kids. So it's just a great different way for folks to help us raise funds to keep granting wishes for those over 300 kids that are waiting. What's included with the hike experience? I mentioned the specialized training program. So training hikes, a training plan, and then some additional opportunities to learn about safety and equipment, things like that. Peer-to-peer fundraising assistance. So you do get an online fundraising page, a fundraising handbook, and opportunity to have direct coaching with Make-A-Wish staff. Weekend accommodations. So the hike does include Friday and Saturday night accommodations, transportation to the beginning of the hike, and all the meals for that weekend, and then hike day support. So you'll get some swag bag things, aid snacks, hydration along the way. We do have Carl with us, who is our official search and rescue guru. You'll also get encouragement from Make-A-Wish staff and your fellow hikers. And then also we'll have some wish stories to share to kind of help you get motivated through the day. And, I think now is a great time to let some of our hike alumni share their experiences. Carl, if you want to share your take and experience a little bit about just some of the added value to make it a fun and safe way to hike, even if you're new to hiking.
I'll go after the hikers get to go.
Any of our alums willing to share a little bit of their experience?
Sure, I can share. So super fun event. This is our third year doing it, and it's shaping up to be an even bigger group this year than we've had in prior years. So that's super exciting. The route is amazing. It's a great resource that we have. I was actually just listening to the Virginia Outdoor Adventures podcast, and they were talking about waterfalls of Shenandoah National Park, and they were describing some of the waterfalls along this route, like Dark Hollow Falls and the White Oak Canyon Trail and a bunch of great places. And then the route also has Stony Man Summit and Hawksbill Summit. So, great sort of photo opportunities. I know the distance sounds like a lot, sounds daunting, and I wouldn't describe it as easy or flat. There are some summits that you climb, but it is really for all levels. So it's not a race. You can walk at any pace. We break into groups of people that walk at different paces. So it's really social, and like we said, it's totally supported the whole way. So my experience has been super fun every time I've done it. And I can't wait to do it again this year.
Sarah Coleman, would you maybe share, or Brian, about your experience on the fundraising side?
You go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, I think the fundraising side, obviously that's what this is all about. We get to have a great experience on the hike, but it can be a little bit scary to commit to raising this amount of funds. And what I'll tell you, the endurance event and the daunting task of 18 miles, when you talk to it about people, can be something that excites them and gets them on board with supporting you. You'd be surprised, and I know nobody likes asking, but you'd be surprised when they see what you're willing to do and you're challenging yourself to support this cause. It is a cause that's well known, even though we are local in Virginia. You do hear about the brand, on national news as well. So it is something that people are familiar with, and people are willing to support. And just takes the time to ask and let them know what it's about. Share some of the information that Jessica is sharing. It's and people are willing to jump on board with you.
And how about why you hike?
Yeah, so for us, it's personal. We are Wish parents, and had a Wish child that went through this experience with Make-A-Wish. So, we not just this event, but we support a lot of events with Make-A-Wish, and this is a new, exciting way to do it. The Wish experience is incredibly impactful. All those things that Jessica shared are absolutely true. It is a bonding experience. It's a great experience for the child, but it's also a big part of managing through a crisis, a family crisis, and mental support to get through that. So, yeah, just incredibly rewarding for everyone involved in receiving a wish.
Yeah, and for me, I got involved because a college roommate actually. So I'm from Michigan originally, and I had this college roommate that used to do a Make-A-Wish bike ride in Michigan. And we weren't getting to hang around together as much, because we were starting families. But this bike ride, takes a whole weekend. So we decided to do it together. So it's kind of stacking activities, right? It's like a fitness activity where I'm getting exercise. There's a social aspect of hanging out with friends. And then obviously there's a spiritual aspect of helping out Make-A-Wish. And then I also volunteered for the food committee to support these 700 riders over 3 days with 3 meals a day and all the food that you need at the aid stations. So that was kind of the mental aspect of it. And that's the way I look at Trailblaze too. Like I said, I'm out in the woods. We're doing this awesome 18 miles, so that's the physical aspect. The spiritual aspect is raising money to grant wishes for children in Virginia. And then the social aspect is just all the awesome people that do it as well. And, we've got the dinners, and there's a little tap house after the, event. So that's fun. And then again, for me, the mental aspect of it is helping the planning and execution of it and being on the Trailblaze committee that makes it super fun. So I like to stack activities. And if I can get them that are doing, 2, 3, or 4 of all those elements, then that's a good activity for me.
Any other alums that want to speak up before Carl gives us some safety information?
I guess the only thing I'll add is how fun it is. So like Brian said, like we always support this organization because of our experience. But after the first year, it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself. Can I do this? Let me really see if I can do this. And most things for me, it would be like, okay, I did it. I'm done. But this is so fun. And that's why we keep coming back. Because the whole weekend experience, it's not just the hike, it's the Friday night, the Saturday evening, and then Sunday morning. You really do get close with the other people in the group. And I think that's why we keep coming back. So it's very fun.
Okay, it's time to talk search and rescue a little bit, huh? So I'm Carl, and I'm the Wilderness Risk Manager at Make-A-Wish Greater Virginia, and I'm also a volunteer with Shenandoah National Park's Search and Rescue program. And we bring a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and talent from the search and rescue and wilderness EMS world to support Make-A-Wish. And there is this will be we've been involved in all of the Trailblaze challenges in Virginia and the ones in Maryland before that. And so we bring all of those lessons learned to bear to make each Trailblaze challenge just even better than the last one. And from a safety and search and rescue perspective, we really bring so many different teams and people and individuals. And I think we might have had more search and rescue people than hikers maybe one year. And that's certainly not our goal, but our goal is to really make sure that the hikers feel comfortable and that we are on top of everything so the hikers can focus on the challenge and without having to worry so much about what could happen. That's our job. So we have plans that we put in place in case someone might go missing or gets hurt. We work closely with the National Park Service EMS team, and we also do a lot of work ahead of time to minimize those and mitigate the potential risks. So the likelihood of hikers getting lost is diminished. We set you up with maps. We also have a radio communication system that we have with the hikers, as well as separate channels for the search and rescue people. So we really build out an entire safety and wilderness risk management program that's been very successful. And we're super excited about participating and helping to make Trailblaze Challenge a success again this year. We will have, as we've done in the past, we've had multiple checkpoints where we have search and rescue professionals at the checkpoints that the hikers pass through. And then also we have sweepers that are following behind to make sure that everyone is okay on the hike. So I think that's a good summary. I'll hand it back to Jessica.
Yeah, and I always like to say you'll never feel as safe again as you've felt on this trip with Carl watching over you.
I agree. Yes, we very much so. I think it's such a great added value to the experience, especially for newer folks that maybe are new to hiking or haven't hiked, these kinds of trails. I think it's a great opportunity to get involved. So perfect. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So the timeline for the hike weekend, we have check-in Friday afternoon. We do a safety brief dinner. So we go over the map and, Carl introduces his team. Everybody gets to meet each other. Saturday morning, we do meet for breakfast in the lobby of the hotel. And then we transport everybody to Big Meadows. And then hikers will begin in waves, leaving at 7:30. And then we do have dinner at 6 o'clock that night. Like Carl mentioned, we do have checkpoints throughout the day. We serve lunch at one of the comfort stations on the course, things like that. And then Sunday, we do have a thank you breakfast before everyone checks out for the weekend. How you turn your miles into wishes. We have a pretty easy request for you all. We'll have a registration form that we'll have you all complete, and then a waiver that we have you sign with more information. There is a registration fee of $100, but that does count towards your fundraising goal. And then we ask everybody to raise a minimum of $2,500. And that is, you actually have a little bit of time past the event to hit those goals, that goal. So you have to May 14th to do that. We believe that you could hit that goal and even surpass that goal. A lot of folks do. And we do help with that. So we have a lot of resources that we provide for folks that maybe are less comfortable with fundraising. We have tips and tricks. We have, you can ask companies or friends to sponsor you. So we do have a sponsorship packet that includes multiple opportunities for if, like, say your company wants to become a sponsor, and then they get hikers as part of their sponsorship. So you can be one of the company's hikers. And, we've had participants in the past be really successful with even company matching their gifts. So they'll have family and friends give, and then they'll submit and have their company match that. So they automatically double their fundraising. So there's a lot of really great ways to hit that goal. So don't let that $2,500 scare you away. I think it's well worth it, and you get a lot out of it. And then you're also helping wishes come true. So important dates to think about. I think today is one of the most important because it's the start of your Trailblaze Challenge journey. January 6th is when we'll have a training kickoff. Training hikes will take place between January 6th and April 12th. So those will be announced as we get a little bit closer. And we do plan to kind of scatter where the training hikes are so that folks from throughout Virginia are able to attend those. Our recommitment date is March 8th. So if you are kind of on the fence about the fundraising and you're not sure, you can sign up today, and you have until March 8th to decide if you want to commit and do the event. So we will at that time have everybody basically say, yes, I'm going to do it, or no, I think I'm going to have to pass. So you have some time to work towards that and see kind of where you're at. April 12th through the 14th is the hike weekend, with the hike taking place on the 13th. And as I mentioned before, May 14th is when your fundraising needs to be complete. So now is the time, if anybody has any questions for myself, or, I'm sure some of our alumni hikers would be happy to share their experiences if anybody has any questions for them. And feel free, if you don't want to ask in front of everybody, feel free to reach out to any of the Make-A-Wish staff. We also have a Trailblaze Challenge committee, who a lot of these folks on here are committee members. I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any of your questions as well. But yeah. Any questions before we wrap up this afternoon?
What do I have to do to register and actually sign up?
Sure. So there is it's a Microsoft Forms form that we'll need everybody to complete. So after we wrap up today, I'll email out that form to everybody who attended. And I will also include the recording. So if anybody wants to watch again or see the dates again or anything like that, that will all be available. So you just complete that form. And then after we receive that form, we'll make your fundraising page active on the website, and then you can put either your registration fee directly on your fundraising page, or we can work to have you send that into the office.
Jessica, maybe you can explain how it would work if you joined as a team.
Sure. Well, I mean, you might be able to.
Okay. Yeah. So because I had this question, Brian and I did when we registered as a team the first year. So if you want to make a team with yourself and other members, your fundraising total. So for example, Brian and I, we commit to raising $5,000 as a team, and it doesn't matter how that fundraising is split between the two of us, as long as we collectively reach the fundraising goal.
And they do a great job even surpassing that goal. So we appreciate you all working so hard to help us grant more wishes. Perfect.
I'll just add, if anybody is interested in trying to set up a session that we do with a group, either from a company or a club or organization that you think may be interested in learning more about Trailblaze, Jessica or I would be happy to help set that up with you.
Definitely. Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you taking some time today. And I really hope that we will all be at the Trailblaze Challenge in April, and you'll bring your friends too.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.